Hello, guys, and welcome to the training on the power of tracking. Um, Today is the 4th of August, 2024, and today we're going to be discussing the power of tracking, how tracking can help you reach your fitness goals, help you lose the weight, put on muscle, etc. Now, there's so many important parts of tracking and so many benefits of doing it. A lot of people will just wing it and just guess it. So I suppose you're asking me like, what is the actual benefit of it? Like, why, Danny, are you making me track my food? Why are we doing this? And I suppose the reasons is it's going to help you identify your eating patterns. You're going to see when you're snacking. You're going to see what times of day you're getting those cravings. You're going to see what you crave after certain activities and stuff like that. After the gym, are you craving this? Are you smashing out this? What is it you're doing? So then we can start to look at what those patterns are and how we can kind of change those to help you get better results. Is this food serving you in the best way possible? Number two is it kind of gives you more accountability. You know, you're accountable to me, but also the accountability is you can sit there, you can look at what you're eating, and you can self-analyze yourself and be accountable to yourself as well. It's on a piece of paper, you can see it. There's no pretending it didn't happen. And what I see a lot of times is when people have bad days is they don't track, and that defeats the whole point. The accountability of tracking is that you track when it's good, you track when it's average, and you track when it's poor. And if you do these three things, you become more and more accountable to yourself. Number three is it supports weight management and it helps you lose that weight that you've been wanting to lose, or it helps you put that muscle on. You know, there's no guesswork with it anymore. What those calories say are what those calories say. If your goal is to eat 2,100 calories and you eat 2,100 calories, you're on goal, you're on task, you're on track. You're not guessing. You're putting it down just like you would with a bank account. If that money goes in, that money goes out. We know what's going in and we know what's going out. And it's the exact same with your food. If you're not tracking, we can't be sure. And it's very hard to get that weight goal and work towards it because you're effectively not giving data. And data is the most important thing when we're looking to completely change your lifestyle to help you get towards your new goal. Number four is we improve nutritional balance. Now, some people will have very fat heavy diets, carb heavy diets, and protein heavy diets. And the important thing to realize, as discussed in the macro training, is that all three of them are crucial. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them. They're all macronutrients and they're essential for energy and recovery. But we want a balance. We don't just want a carb heavy diet with nothing else. We don't just want to eat fats and we don't just want to eat protein. We need all three. So this will allow you with tracking, especially on MyFitnessPal, you can go to the bottom into the nutrient section, have a look at your macros and make sure you're hitting your protein goal and then make sure there's a balance between fats and carbs. Now that's something to look at a little bit later on, and it's not crucial at the start, especially for weight loss, but for overall long-term health, that will massively, massively help you. It will help your energy levels. It will help you feel fuller for longer, and it will help you in the long term with your general health. And last but not least is it enhances motivation and focus. Enhancing your motivation because you're seeing the progress you've made. If you look at when you start this journey and 6 weeks into this journey, you'll see a complete shift in how you're eating. And that will definitely increase your motivation. You're actually seeing the data. And it will keep you focused on those days when, you know, you're not 100% there with it or something like that. Having that tracking is going to allow you to be more focused and for longer. A lot of time people lose focus and then they stop tracking. Now you want to be tracking to maintain your focus, if that makes sense. So we move on to how do we track and what tools are we using? We're going to use a tool called MyFitnessPal. You may use NutriCheck and you may use the Fitbit app. That's absolutely fine. But my go-to is MyFitnessPal, and this is what I use, and that's what I will talk about. And the reason why is because it's got a food database and you can scan your food, just makes life so much easier rather than using pen and paper or some of the other ones out there. And it will allow you to track your calories, which is ultimately will allow you to lose weight. To track your proteins will allow you to build muscle or maintain muscle, and also track your other macros and micronutrients. And for sure, macronutrients will be number two in there. And then those micronutrients at a later date, maybe after this 12 weeks, we'll look into vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that. And we can also see the progress tracking. We can see week to week how we're developing. We can see how our protein's getting better, how our macros are getting better, how our weight's getting better. And we can look at the data on MyFitnessPal and look at your weight data, and we can correlate the two, which is really important for seeing your progress and allowing you to see where you go from here to here. So this moves me on. Why digital tracking compared to manual tracking? So if we look at manual tracking quickly, it does encourage mindfulness and you're not reliant on technology. Those are the two pros to manual tracking for sure. But the cons outweigh it. Time consuming. Writing on a piece of paper is time consuming. Also, there's prone errors to calories. Like, not being funny, how many of you know how many calories are in 250 grams of chicken? How many of you know how many calories are in 125 grams of potatoes? How many of you know how much is in rice, etc.? And you just spend a whole time either looking it up on the internet or guessing. And if you're guessing, that's something you've done in the past and it's not served you in the past. So let's not go back to those old habits. For sure, it encourages you to be more mindful, but so does digital tracking. And the cons are limited analysis. If you want to compare this week to 6 weeks ago, you're flipping back between pages. You can't really sit there and really analyze it. This brings me over to MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck or whatever you're using. MyFitnessPal, it still encourages the mindfulness, which is absolutely crucial. It's convenient and efficient. It's in your pocket. When you're out, you can just whip your phone out and you can start tracking. It's accurate in the calorie nutrient analysis. When you scan a food or you input a food, it knows the macronutrients. It knows how much protein in it. It knows how much carbs are in it. And it already has it in there. You haven't got to be scrapping around, looking on the internet, writing it down. And ultimately, that manual tracking never lasts because it's so time consuming. MyFitnessPal, it's a 5-minute job. It's done. You haven't got to faff about. And it's so easy to access past data. You can compare this week to last week just like that. And that's so important for you to get long-term progress. So it's all very well tracking your food, but what you need to be doing is being accurate when you track. A lot of people say to me, yeah, I've tracked my food, I've tracked my breakfast, I've tracked my lunch, I've tracked my dinner, but they're not inputting how much of each food. So for example, we cook a chicken pasta bake. We need to know how much chicken is going in there. And I always say to this, measure out your food before you cook. Don't be measuring it out after. And I would, let's say the chicken pasta bake, you make 4 portions and you do 800 grams of chicken, for example. You know each portion is going to roughly have 200 grams, and that's absolutely fine. And you need to track out how much pasta you've got and how much sauces you've got and etc. Every single ingredient should be in there. And once you've done that, you can save that meal for future reference. So you haven't got to go through and you can just change the weight of each food next time you do it. So you need to be getting some food scales, and I'd recommend getting some digital ones. It makes your life a lot easier. Have them on the side, leave them on the side, and make sure they're out all the time. It just makes your life so much easier, and it's a 2-minute job. So you should be measuring out your food before you cook, and make sure you're checking label sizes for serving sizes. A lot of people will look at the label and it says 600 grams or something, and maybe the serving size is 200 grams and the calories on it are actually 200 grams. So you need to just double check, cross-reference. If you're not accurately tracking, then ultimately there's no point you tracking in the first place. So I suppose this brings me on to, I think, my last point, and it's understanding serving sizes and calorie counts. You need to be reading those nutrition labels. Familiarize yourself with serving sizes and packaging and compare these to your actual portions. The most common one, a bowl of cereal, is 30 grams according to serving sizes of Cocoa Pops, Rice Krispies, and all that. When actually most of our serving sizes tend to be 60, 70 grams. 30 grams of cereal is like that. Most people's are like that. Double. All of a sudden, you've underestimated yourself by half, 100%. You need to be using those online databases. We don't want to be doing the old-fashioned writing on pen and paper kind of thing. That's outdated and it's not good. So MyFitnessPal will be your best friend, and there's a video which you should have done already about how to set this up. Number 3, you must calculate your homemade meals. Do not guess. Guessing isn't going to serve you long term. It's not going to get you the results you want. If you want to get 20% along your journey, yeah, for sure, you can probably guess. But if you want to get from where you are today and lose that first 10 kilos and more and pack on some muscles and get lean and in the best shape of your life, you need to be tracking absolutely everything and guessing it all and not guessing it all. Do not guess. Sorry. You do not want to be guessing. If you're guessing, you are only going to get so far. Break down those ingredients, every single ingredient in there, and calculate total calories and divide it by the servings. If what you've made is 2,000 calories and you've split that into 4, then split it down into 4. Be accurate with all this stuff, guys. I can't emphasize that enough. Data, data, data. Data also allows me to help you. If I haven't got it and I haven't got a food log, how can I help you get to the goals you want? And number 4 is adjust your cooking methods. Consider the impact of oil, consider the impact of grilling. What's better? What is going to get you the most for your calories? For example, a steak. You cook a steak. Is it better to grill it, or is it better to put it in a load of butter and oil and all that in the frying pan? Think about these things. What is actually best for you? So I think this brings me on to the end, and this is something I really want everyone to think about. It will be hard. It will not be easy. At times of the journey, it will be really, really hard and really, really shit at times. Reach out into the community, into the WhatsApp chat. Ask the questions and ask the hard questions. However stupid you may think that question is, ask it. Share how you are feeling. You're not alone on this journey. You've joined a community. You've joined a coach who cares about you. So when things get tough and when things get hard, reach out and ask. Let's fucking go.